Hey guys, welcome to Open Studio. If you just tuned in, you're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Campbell. And yes, it is Nelson Mandela Month and it's bringing nothing but greatness, because joining me in studio today is somebody who goes by the name of Danny as well. He's from Landles of Love, okay, an organization which is doing amazing work in feeding the people of communities and schools. Well, it's basically to help alleviate hunger within communities.
That's right.
And within people in the streets.
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I must say the name Danny. You are Danny. I'm Danny. We were
a great
destined
name.
for great things. I
Yes.
must say.
a
So for
good
people
name.
that's watching for the first time, can you
Yes.
just tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, Landles of Love was founded in 2014. I was on a breathing and meditation course in the city centre, and part of the philosophy of it's through an organization called the Art of Living, and part of their philosophy is doing seva, or community service, you know, giving of yourself, wanting nothing in return. And on that day, our seva was to go out and serve a cup of tea to the homeless people in the city. And so because my restaurant wasn't far from where we were doing the course, I arranged a pot of soup instead. And we went out on the streets handing out soup to all the homeless, and it just really clicked. You know, people, I believe everyone wants to do something good. We just become overwhelmed. We're not sure what to do, how to do it. And that's where I was blessed. It really just all fell into place, seeing how easy it was to make a pot of soup. I had the kitchen in the restaurant, so it was really easy, and I never looked back. 5 years later, we're still going.
5 years later.
Yep.
Wow. And I mean, it started with something as simple as a soup.
That's
As a
right.
pot of soup.
That's
And
it.
I can only assume that the project has been growing since when it started. But we're
Yes.
going to get into more details with that as we go along.
Right.
So who's the target audience when you are dishing out this soup?
Well, on the soup kitchens, we strictly go for the homeless guys, and we are quite strict. I've had guys that you can see they're going home from work and they try and squeeze into the queue, and we say, bye-bye, it's not for you, it's for the homeless guys.
Yeah.
And so we're very strict about that. And then we've started going for the schools. There's a lot of schools in the area. Even in the upmarket areas, there's schools with a lot of underprivileged children. And because of where the school is situated, the government doesn't look at the school, at the kids that are in the school. They look at where the school is situated, and they determine how much help they're going to give that school by that. It's their quintile system. So, which is a strange system, but that's the way it is. So we've been working with we're working with 4 schools now. And we also work with other organizations that feed homeless or less privileged people in areas where it's difficult. It's not that it's difficult, it's just they in that side of the world. So let's help them with the food. And we on this side, so we'll sort out this side. So altogether, we've grown from about 70 meals a week, and we now over 2,000 meals a week.
Wow, that's a lot of stomachs to feed.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I mean, you just mentioned what just interested me about was where you get people coming from work trying to squeeze into the line and stuff, you know, and which is good that you've kept it strict, you know, because you're making sure that the right people are being served, you know, the people that really need it, that do not have maybe not the ability, could be disabled, or do not have the necessity, you know, to go out there and also another thing you mentioned that I've taken into that interested me was the school system, where because of where the school is placed, the government decides on how much of support it will give them, which is, well, we didn't really say it's fair towards the people or the pupils of the school, because
I think they need to look at the demographics of the students that go to the school. They shouldn't look at where the school is, because now, I mean, you've got kids coming from Mitchell's Plain, Khayelitsha, they're coming into the city centre, which is an affluent area. You know, there's no shortage of money in the city centre, yet those schools get very little funding because of where they're based.
Wow.
But yet the kids need the help. So.
And many people do take that for granted, you know.
I didn't know about it, to be honest. It was a friend who told me, a friend of mine, he's got an organization called 1 Million Strong, and he offers life coaching programs to the schools. So they try and teach the teachers to teach the kids. And he was telling me about how the kids go to school hungry. I really did not know about that until 3 or 4 years ago when he told me. And when he told me, you know, it's I'm not a religious guy, but let's just say it's like God talks to you
Yeah.
in these strange ways. You get that very strong feeling in your gut that says that's your next step.
Yeah.
And I knew that that was the next chapter for Ladles of Love.
Wow.
To feed the homeless and to feed the kids.
Wow. And I mean, when something is being done out of pureness, out of, when you're authentic about something, it is bound to grow. And I
Yep.
mean, from 4 years, you've been in this for 4 years now, and you've grown
5.
from 5 years or so.
Yep.
And you've grown from, was it 70?
70 meals,
to
100 meals a
over
week.
2,000?
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
number. That's a big number.
Yes, seva is a Sanskrit word,
Yeah.
as I said, meaning giving of yourself, wanting nothing in return. And when you perform the act of seva,
Yeah.
you are never on your own, to be honest. Somehow things fall into place.
Yes.
The money comes, the help comes, and it's really is wonderful. And as you take on more, your shoulders grow.
Yeah.
So that you can take on more.
Yeah.
And things will come to you as you need. And it's almost as if life works through you to make it happen. So I almost at times feel like I'm the vehicle for Ladles of Love, for life, for God, for higher power, whatever you want to call it. I'm the vehicle that allows this act of service to happen.
Yeah.
So
you are the driving force.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you make everything happen. You get it out there to them. You help them.
Yes. I've really, I've run business and I've run a non-profit. And when I've run my non-profit, I've really tried to just go with what my head says, what my heart says. It's almost I just use intuition.
Yes.
And whereas with business, we think about it, we look at numbers, should we do it, and you think, and we do research. And whereas with non-profit, I've really just gone when I felt what I felt here, I will act on it.
Yeah. And
if it sticks, I will continue with it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't stick, then I let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And I mean, you wouldn't want to treat it as business because, as it says, non-profit, you are not making a profit out of it.
No.
So it shouldn't be looked at as a business,
No.
which is great to hear that.
Yes. So, but at the same time, the irony or the flip side is that you need to run your non-profit like you would run a business. You've got to be aware of your costs. You've got to find money needs to come in.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
Okay, so we're going to take another short break, and then when we come, we're going to continue our conversation. Guys, so for those that's watching at home, guys, please do not go anywhere. We continue after this. All right, guys, welcome to it. If you tune in, you're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. I'm your host. My name is Danny Cambo, and I've got another Danny in studio. Okay, Nelson Mandela Month has brought me a Danny in studio, who's an amazing man and also the founder of Landles of Love, an organization which aims to help and feed the homeless and feed those that are hungry. So you've been doing this great initiative for 5 years now.
Yes.
You've grown from 40, was it parts
Seven.
of?
Oh,
70
little pots of food,
pots of food
to
over 2,000 pots
yeah.
of food. And that is amazing. That is a big number, and that is something to be proud of.
Yeah.
But as I pick up, as we're speaking, you're not prepared to stop just there. Like you mentioned, the more you take, the bigger your shoulders grow, and the more you can take. So another thing that interested me as I was speaking is you mentioned that a friend of yours was teaches to teach kids.
Yes.
And he mentioned that kids go to school being hungry.
Yes.
And that is a sensitive topic because we know how important it is not to teach a hungry child.
Yes.
And that a hungry child cannot be taught.
No.
Can you just give us your feel on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the stories that I hear are really sad and very touching. That sometimes kids don't even eat dinner the night before. So really the only food they get is what they get at school.
Yeah.
So a lot of them have to leave home early. It takes 2-3 hours to get to the school. So they wake up early. They wake up without food in their tummy already. They go to school. There's no food at the school. It's just not possible. I mean, I hear of kids that literally faint.
Yeah.
We've had those stories. They faint because they're so hungry. So for me, I am focusing more. I've got my 3 soup kitchens in the city. I'm looking at launching a 4th in the next couple of months.
Okay.
I've got a location where I'd like to do it. But I'm really driving the kids because There's so many out there that need help, and there are other great organizations that are helping the kids, you know. And I think if there weren't these organizations, there would have been a lot of pressure on the government to feed these kids. So it's really important, and a lot of them, you know, breakfast is the important one, and they've done surveys. They've seen where in certain schools where there's no breakfast, the kids don't even come to school because they're hungry or whatever reason, or they come to school late. So in certain schools, what they've done is they've implemented a breakfast by a certain time, and if you're not at school by that time, you won't get the breakfast. And so what was happening is that more kids were now coming to school, and they were coming to school on time to make sure they got their breakfast before the day started. So it's really amazing how you can mold things for the better just with food.
Wow. And I mean, I can relate to that. You know, when I was also in high school, and we had a feeding scheme at school, and you know, I can leave home in a hurry and just get to school, and I know I will get breakfast. But then there are those days that you get to school and the feeding scheme is closed, you know, and you sit throughout the class, you're going to get a headache, you know, you don't want to go outside and play during interval, you get these, you know, dry lips and all the time, you know, it's, and when you're young, you want to go out and play, you can't help yourself, you're going to go out and play, drains your energy, and then your rest of the day is just...
Definitely, you know, I think what drew me more towards this is there was one school I was checking it out before starting the program, and I was there visiting the school to check out their cooking facilities, etc. And the day I arrived, the lady who did the cooking for the school, she didn't arrive for work that day, so the kitchen was shut down. But the kids didn't know, so you saw the kids arriving to get something to eat, and their disappointment when they saw there was no food. You know, it was that really touched me.
Yeah, and I mean, a big task like that to feed so many kids at a school per se is not a responsibility you can give to one person. You know, well, now speaking on that, within the organization, within Landles of Love, how many people are currently volunteers, or how many people are assisting to make this initiative a success?
So volunteers come and go. We've had literally thousands of volunteers come. That's been another wonderful thing about Landles of Love, is seeing how many people it attracts. I think because we've made it easy for people to just come and volunteer, you know, you just arrive and be part of it. But I have got a core team that I've become reliant on. I call them my Sever warriors. You know, as not a person who worries, but as in a warrior. You know, and I would say, if I haven't counted, but I'd say there's about 10 of them that I know if I phone them, I know if I message them, they'll drop and they'll help me if I need, you know. So without them, they've really become also the heart of the organization. And without them, Landles would not be where it is today. You know? I mean, our social media was purely on volunteering. You know, a lady has put in a lot of her time doing that, and has taken Landles through the social media and getting us on Google and everything. I mean, we #1 search. If you go on the search, we #1. So that has all been through the volunteers. And I haven't searched for the volunteers. You know, they've just come to me, and that's the beauty about Sever again. And that's why your shoulders can grow, because it's as if life will provide you as you need. You know, so yeah, it's touching and it's wonderful. But yeah, I'd say I've got about 10.
I can imagine.
I know they've become
the core team. Wow. So you mentioned you've got 3 soup kitchens, then you're working on your 4th. So where are those soup kitchens situated?
So the one is on the Tuesday evening in the city centre on St. George's Mall. That was our first kitchen. We started on St. George's Mall, and it's become our biggest kitchen. We're doing anywhere between 350 and 400 meals just out of that kitchen. Our next kitchen is at the Haven Shelter on Thursday nights. That we do also at about 5:30. That's not as big. We do about 150 meals there. And then we've got our 3rd kitchen, which is at the Carpenter Shop, now the Hope Exchange, which is on Ruland Street there in the city centre. And we also serve about 150 people. And the fourth one, I'm hoping to start off at the Kulenburg Safe Space. It's an initiative by the government to create a safe space for the homeless people to sleep at night.
Okay.
And they don't offer food.
Okay.
They offer washing and cleaning and a safe space to sleep, but there's no food.
Okay,
And I
so
know they
that's
do
where you come
encourage.
on.
So I'm thinking, I
Yeah.
think my fourth kitchen will start there pretty soon.
All right. And you think there's any challenges in you getting in there, or
No.
sure?
No,
They-
I did a 48-hour challenge
Yeah.
where I went homeless to raise money for our organization and to have a deeper understanding of homelessness. And they know me.
I know you. All
That
right.
was one of the nights I stayed.
Yeah, they know him, guys. So if you want to be part of this journey, guys, do not hesitate, do not sit there, do not just think about it. Come on, get out there and be part of it. So we're going to take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Mr. Danny in studio with me, so do not go anywhere. Guys, welcome to it. If you just tuned in, you're not too late. You're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. My name is Danny Kambo. And as I mentioned earlier on, it is the month of Nelson Mandela. And this month has brought me another Danny in studio. Okay, I can never get tired of saying this because it's the first time I get to have a Danny in studio. Okay, and I'm guessing it's
Don't
going
know
to
why,
be for
it's
a
a good
long
name,
time.
man.
Come on. And I mean, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
You are the founder of Landles of Love. You know,
Yes.
for those that do not know, Landles of Love, like we mentioned earlier on, is an organization aimed to help alleviate hunger amongst those that are, you know, malnourished or malnutrition,
less
so to
privileged,
speak.
yeah.
Yeah, less privileged, the homeless, and also schools. This is a great initiative that has taken a has made a big impact within the people's lives within
Yes.
the 5 years
years,
of you being active.
Yes.
You've gone from 70 pots of soup to over 2,000,
Yeah.
which is big, which is
Yes.
amazing. And just to continue our chats on that, I mean, you spoke about having an additional soup kitchen to the 3 that you currently
Yes.
have, and you said, can you just tell us again where you are hoping to have your fourth?
So the fourth one will be at the Kulenburg Safe Space,
Yeah.
which is a government initiative. It was a hotspot in the city centre that they've converted into a safe space. They've fenced it off. They've got police there
Okay.
constantly patrolling the area, and they've created little like carport, like corrugated roofs,
Yeah.
and you get a pallet to sleep on so that it raises you off the floor,
Okay.
and you get to stay there for 6 months,
Okay.
and you can turn it into your little home. And they provide lockers to lock your valuables. There's toilets and shower facilities, and place to wash your clothes.
Okay.
So, but they don't provide food.
Okay.
That's not in the budget, because that in itself I can understand it does cost.
Yeah, I mean,
It
yeah.
does cost
Based
money
on what
to
you
keep
just
it going.
mentioned, it's
Yeah.
very secured as well.
It's
Yeah.
secure. It's and for me, I was very impressed with that. Whether it works or doesn't work, it seems to be working really well. What impressed me was how people were thinking out the box towards homelessness,
Yes.
because homelessness is a very complex situation. People say, they must stop being lazy. They must just get off the street and go and get a job, and it's not that simple.
Yeah.
I went homeless for 48 hours, and the thing that scared me the most was how I slipped into survival mode so quickly. I couldn't think about tomorrow. I was thinking about now. Where am I going to get my next meal? Where am I going to find my next buck? Where am I going to go to the toilet? Where can I clean myself? So all of a sudden, you slip into that survival mode,
Yeah.
and then you start smelling. Your clothes start smelling. I mean, literally after day one, after 24 hours, I was starting to smell. My clothes were becoming dirty. And for me, it was easy because I was only on the street for 48 hours, so I just carried the clothes that I was wearing. I didn't need anything else. But what about a guy who's constantly on the street? Where does he get a second set of clothing from? And if he's got a second set, where does he keep it?
Yeah.
Does he carry it? Does he hide it? If he carries it, it'll probably get stolen from him. If he hides it, it'll get stolen because they know where their hiding places are. So what do you do? How do you keep yourself clean? Where do you go and clean? And then even if there are places like the Hope Exchange where you can go and wash yourself every morning, but once you've washed yourself, then you put dirty clothes back on.
Yeah.
So how does that help? So you're still smelling. So it's very complex. A lot of them are drug addicts. They've got alcohol issues. They've run away from their home because of abuse. they're gay or transgender, which creates a problem. So this community has kicked them out of the community.
Yeah.
So a lot of them come to the city, hopefully looking for a job. So it's a very complex situation, and what I am trying to put out there, and what I'm trying to encourage the public, is that homelessness is here to stay. Whether we want it or not, homelessness is a part of society. Like in society, we have black people, we have white people, we have Indian people, we have homeless people as well. And that is it. And we cannot change that. It's all over the world. It's not going to change. If anything, with population growth, the way it's growing, the way the economy is going, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So homelessness is here to stay. And I think if we accept that, then we can start thinking out the box.
Yeah.
We can start changing our way of how we think about homeless people, and we change our approach towards it.
Yes.
You know, running a restaurant, I'm constantly bombarded with homeless guys, and they're constantly coming and begging at my customers. And instead of me being aggressive with them or trying to chase them away, I would just walk up to them and I'd say, "Listen, dude, you're disturbing my customers, but here's a muffin. Please don't disturb my customers anymore." And they just walk away. You know, so it's how do you change your approach?
Yeah.
I don't give money. Do not give money. I don't. Rather give the money to an organization that can do something right with it, that can help rehabilitate homeless people.
Yeah.
So we need to change our approach to homelessness. You know, if there weren't soup kitchens in the city, for example, can you imagine? That's not going to drive people off the street.
Wow.
It's going to keep them on the street because they don't know how to get off the street.
Yeah.
So they'll just become more desperate. They'll turn to crime. They'll turn to more aggressive begging.
Yeah.
Bin digging will become even worse.
Yeah.
So it just shows that if we can change our way and we can all try and make homelessness better, it becomes better for everyone.
Yeah, and the other thing you mentioned, which really interests me, is changing the mindset. You
Yep.
know, once your mindset is changed,
Yep.
you understand really where
Yep.
these people are coming from
Yep.
and why they're in the situation they're
Yep.
in. But just because of time, you know, for those that's watching
Yes.
right now at home and they want to be part of this, they want
Yes.
to help out, fund the organization, how
Yes.
can they get a hold of you?
Our website, www.ladlesoflove.org.za. You'll see all the kitchens that we serve. You get all the details. There's also a donate button there.
Okay.
So you can click on that. Takes you straight to our PayFast link. You can message us on Facebook, and we'll give you all details.
Yeah.
Those are the best ways. Our email addresses are on there, so you can contact us via email. There are mobile numbers on there if you want to get a hold of us straight away. So just go on our website or our Facebook page. All the information is there. And the donate buttons. Donate buttons.
That's the important thing,
That's
donate
the big
button,
one.
because I mean, all great ideas need some source of support,
Yes.
you know, for it to grow.
Yes.
And you guys have been doing good so far. I mean, just with a little bit more, you can do so much,
Yes.
so much more.
Definitely.
And so for that, we're really grateful that you came to speak to us and chat to us
Yeah.
today on the show. It's really been a good one. I had a good time. You know,
Yes.
I've learned something new, and I'm
Yes.
guessing that those that's watching at home also had a chance to learn something new. So
Hopefully
I
so.
thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you
you
for
so
having
much
me.
for coming in studio today. And guys at home, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, adjusting your mindset. It only takes 1 or 2 seconds for you
That's
to do
it.
that and to help somebody else. It's Mandela Month, guys. Keep it going. Keep it rolling. For me, I'm signing out, guys. Till next time. Bye-bye.